Oh, I didn't see you there. That's so stupid. So stupid. Okay. Hi friends, welcome back. It is the summer season, and for a lot of artists that means it is the big market season. I have now been a seasoned artist running my business for 3 years now. This is its third year, which means I've been doing markets for about 2.5 years now. And I think I've got some experience under my belt. But before any of that experience, I had the worst vending experience ever, like the worst market ever. And this was my first market. And I've learned a lot from it now. And I just wanted to share that experience with everyone. And I just wanted to gear this video towards my baby artists who are maybe gearing up for their first market season, or maybe they're just gearing up to start their business or whatever it may be, and to show you what I learned from my first horrible market. Before we get into this video, I was looking at my analytics the other day, and I saw that most of my returning viewers are not subscribed. Girl, what are you doing? Go subscribe. If we're hanging out together and yapping, you might as well. You might as well. Just saying. So let's get into it. So when I was 19, I started interning with this startup fashion company out of Denver, and they wanted to turn it into like a whole magazine and everything, like the full on thing. Like they really wanted to be like Vogue. I met the event coordinator at my coffee job. We started talking, gave me her number, and then eventually she reached out after talking about what I do, and she wanted me to be her intern. So after a few months in of working on things for her, we were having like our first big official fashion show coming up. I was in charge of everything that had to do with design. I was working on the badges for the team, programs for the event. I even did like the big like red carpet banner with all the advertisements and stuff on it. I even got to put my name like smack center, and I never got a freaking picture with it. I'm so annoyed. Like all I wanted, I was so excited to get a picture with this banner with my name on it. I was so excited. I don't know where they hid the banner that night. It was out for like 10 minutes and then it was shoved away, and I don't know where it's at. But I did that, and then a bunch of other things. There was going to be like a market right when you walk in, little pop-ups and stuff of other smaller businesses selling things. There was a few drinks, the fashion show, and then after the fashion show they were going to be auctioning off a few of the like designs. So I was excited and I was looking forward to it. 3 months prior to the event, I get a phone call from the event coordinator. It's like, I like remember this vividly. It's like 5 o'clock or whatever in the afternoon. I'm working on my own thing. I'm at my desk and I get a phone call. So I pick up, thinking it's something about designs. And she says, hey, so like we're having a cool little pop-up market at the fashion show, and I was wondering if you want to be a vendor. I was so like shocked. I was shocked, I was excited, I was nervous, I was scared, and the only thing that came out of my mouth was, yeah, that sounds fun. I'd love to. Thank you so much. That sounds so fun. And now I was signed up. So now I was suddenly in my first market. I was feeling really good and really scared. And now the clock was ticking. I had 3 months to get my act together. At this point, I was already sampling my BB-8 charms. Those have such a near and dear place to my heart. That was like the first product that I ever ordered. So I figured I'd just like order those, like officially put the order in, since I was already planning on doing like a Star Wars droid drop. And then she had also asked me to make merch for the show to sell at my booth. So she wanted me to put basically like the magazine branding on a keychain. And I ended up paying for this out of my own pocket. For whatever reason, I was cool with that. Never again. But besides those two things, I didn't have any prints, any stickers. So I was just like quite literally circling my room and looking at all the things that I've made and trying to figure out, okay, what's good enough to turn into a print that will sell. Same thing with stickers. And then on top of that, it was, I need a card reader. Where do I get all this product from? How am I doing my setup? How do I fit all this on a 4-foot table? At this point, I didn't realize taxes were a thing. I wasn't even concerned Baby didn't know what taxes were. And fast forward 3 months and we've arrived at the show. So the show was going to be up in Denver, and since I was already super anxious about vending in Denver for my first time market, my folks offered to drive me up, and they just hung out at IKEA for the whole night. Samantha came with me, and we were expecting a fun night. It was gonna be fun. So we thought. So we pull up to the venue, and it was a really weird venue, but it was kind of dingy. Like where the models were gonna be walking was pretty lit up and bright, and they ended up doing like that looked fine. Where the vendors were, the lighting, atrocious. It was so dark and dingy. Like my basement is brighter than where I was set up. So we come in, I'm looking for the event coordinator to try to figure out where we set up. I was like the first vendor there. So eventually I find her, but she's kind of like, seems to be doing her own thing. It felt like I couldn't get her attention for what I needed her for that short period. And she said to just set up wherever. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It made me really anxious because I was like, I don't know. Like I'm assuming like she has like a layout for us, but eventually she came over and kind of like set us up after I picked a spot, and I guess it wasn't good. But after we finally got into our spot, we started setting up. About an hour later, people started to arrive, and the show was set to start in an hour at 8 o'clock. Or so we thought. At least that's what I put on the program. The show started extremely late. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but it started around 11 p.m. But you figure in the meantime, there's all these people here, and you know what? I can just pass the time by like selling my stuff, by hanging out, mingling, networking, and selling my product. No. That night, I sold a total of 3 stickers, and I think I made $12. And technically, I didn't even make $12 because I have to break even with my product first. So I was like heavily in the red. A lot of the people attending were like families or friends of the models. I don't think there was actually anyone who was like, oh cool, like there's a fashion show going on, we should go kind of thing. I think most of it was just like, oh, our little girl's gonna be a model, and they showed up. Which is like, there's no problem with that. I only have the problem that they were all really rude. I had huge groups crowd my table, not in the good way. They would make a circle like right in front of my table, backs turned, and like just block my table from anyone, even if someone was interested in looking at my stuff, there was no possible way they could do it because I'd have people like this for like tens of minutes. And like, I'm not gonna ask them to move, you know, like I'm here to serve the event. But it was just really rough. And then I also had several models set their drink down on my table and then run off to go take selfies with friends. I watched them. They would just like, they wouldn't ask. They'd set their drink down next to my stickers and then run off in distance, and I see them taking pictures. And then they would be gone for like several minutes and just left their drink on my table. It was to the point where I would have to go around my table every few minutes and like take the drinks and set them on the floor because I was like, this is so rude, and like I can't, like I'm not a bar. The only good thing about that night is that I ended up meeting a really lovely friend. I remember I first met him because he was working the event and I needed chairs, and he walked me, grabbed his chairs. I like walked over there for no reason, grabbed our chairs, came back, and then throughout the night he came in to check on us and like, hey, how's it going? And we were like, horrible. Kind of just joked about the situation, and like we told him about the models leaving drinks, and he was like, oh, you come get me the next time like a model leaves the drink on the table. Like it was just really fun, and I wish I could remember like everything he said that night. Just nice to have another friendly face to turn to. So Walter, if you're watching this, thank you so much. It's the end of the night for me. And everyone was still like hanging out like after 12. Like I ended up taking off at 12:20 because at some point IKEA closed, my parents came to the show, we all had the same opinions of like, what is going on here? I went up to the coordinator and I was like, hey, thank you so much again for having me. I'm gonna go take off. I felt bad, but I didn't feel like as bad as I could have. I was definitely like, I don't know, like disappointed, I guess. I kind of just felt like a little kid putting out a lemonade stand and no one showing up. I like hate to give credit at all to this event or anything, but if anything, it kind of kick-started my like little art business and me like being serious about now doing art markets because I had all this product to get rid of. No, not because of that, but I was kind of already now set up, like the thing that I was procrastinating forever to do, I stopped procrastinating because I had to get it into gear, and now like I have all this stuff still, you know, like, so I was kind of already set up, so why not keep going? But anyways, let's talk about what I learned from this experience. So the first thing that I learned from that experience is that you actually don't have a lot of time to market prep. Maybe this is a me problem, but I feel like I never have enough time to finish what I'm doing to be at 100% prepared for this market. I'm always last minute making something or last minute ordering something. And like, even though for that event I had 3 months, like up into the night of, I felt super behind, and I had 3 months to prepare, and I was actively preparing for these whole 3 months. I was actively working and ordering and photographing my products, I was like working on getting everything ready, from business cards to prints to stickers to table setup, but it still did not feel like enough time. So my advice would be to not slack. If you are signed up for any market, let's say it's like 5 months from now and you're like, oh, I've got time. No, you don't. Because that date is going to come up quicker than you realize. And before you realize it, you're going to be to the month of or to the week of, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I still have like 30 other things to do this week. As soon as you are signed up for that market, or even think about signing up for a market, start prepping for that market. The next thing I learned is that audience, that crowd, was not my crowd. Find your people. Find a venue or find a market or find an event coordinator that fits to whatever vibe you're going for your aesthetic. If your main thing is drawing fan art, then like Comic-Con and any sort of convention is going to be your thing. Even though I have originals, I still do pretty well at Comic-Con because those are my people. If you're more into doing like original work, then like farmers markets can be your thing, or local artisan craft markets, things like that. But find your people, find your audience, find even people like you. In my case, for example, I am very colorful, I like bright things, I love cats. If there's another artist that has like cat things, I will be at that table buying their things. And the last thing that I learned from this experience is one bad art market is just one bad art market. Don't let it stop you. So if you have a slow market or even just really bad one like this one, call it character development. Add it to your lore that you can share with other artists, and when you all talk about bad art markets, you've got a story in your back pocket for them, you know? Like, this just becomes another experience. When I reflect back to this market at that fashion show, I can look at it at just like, oh, you know what, like this just sucked. And I can look at it like that and not think about it any further. Or I can pick it apart and find the good things and find the bad things and focus on the good things and move on. The good things that I want to focus on from this market is that I met my friend Walter. It pushed me to make all the product that I've been procrastinating to do and kickstarted my business, if anything. And I learned, no, I didn't fail because I'm not a good artist. It was just not my crowd. It was simply just not my crowd, and that is why I didn't do well. So I also implore you to reflect on a bad art market and learn something from it. Anyways, that is about all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I actually think somewhere in the deep archives of my hard drive, I think I have like a video where I vlogged me at this experience. If this is something you'd like to watch, if this is something you'd be interested in watching, let me know and I will make that happen for you if I can find it. If you are already a seasoned vendor, Let me know down in the comments below what was your worst art market, and is there anything you took away from that? And then if you are just starting doing art markets, let me know down below if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll do my best to answer those, since I don't have like any 101 videos out yet. And if you want to check out my little online shop, I've got that link down below. It's full of goodies for you. Please go check it out. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!